Hi there, I'm Angela. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back, and welcome to another episode of Friday Sews. Hey y'all, happy Friday. I hope you're having a good start to your weekend. Thanks to all you guys for watching. You could be anywhere else right now doing anything, but I'm thankful that you're choosing to watch this video. And thanks to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room, who's the creator of the Friday Sews. And I'm sure this is not news to many of you, but this Friday Sews idea is where we all come together to talk about what we've been working on in the sewing room in the past week. Maybe talk a little bit about what our coming plans are and how life in general is going. So I do have a couple of sewing related things to share with you guys. And not too much on the life front. It's been a little quiet, relaxing, but we'll get to that here in just a minute. As far as sewing, I did finish my Simplicity hat and scarf. Did this one right there. And it is here, or the two pieces are here. And I'll put in a little clip of me wearing them here in just a second. I want to talk a little bit about how this experience went first. First of all, I'll say, to start out with, I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. They're really cute, and I know that I'll wear them quite frequently throughout the colder months. I might even make them again, at least the hat. I really do like it. However, the pattern was atrocious. And I'm not one to just outright bash a pattern, for the way it was organized or the pattern piece layout or the instructions. I might point out some issues where I got stuck, or maybe if there were some incongruencies, or if there was an error in the instructions when I do a pattern review. That is just to make anybody else looking to make that pattern aware, just so they know. It's a little bit of a heads up on what they can look out for while they're making the pattern. This pattern, the instructions, they were terrible. I'm just going to outright say it. Even though it's not my way to just categorically bash a pattern. Many times I was confused while making both the hat and the scarf. And I ended up halfway through, so I made the hat first. And about halfway through, there were so many unclear diagrams and written instructions that I just kind of started doing my own thing with it. And same with the scarf. Started out trying to do good, be like a good little sewist and follow the instructions. It was so frustrating. I just threw them out the window and kind of did my own thing. Overall, I'm really happy and kind of surprised that I turned out with a good result. And I don't know if you guys do this, but most of the time when I'm looking to make a pattern, I'll go over to patternreview.com and I will kind of look to see if there are any reviews on it. I did do this for this pattern a little while back when I first put this on my radar. And if I recall, there were a lot of people, or at least a few, that said the same thing. And so I felt like, well, at least it wasn't just me. Because do you ever kind of feel like if you're making a pattern and you get totally lost in the instructions and you start feeling like, am I just an idiot? Can I not just follow some instructions? Sometimes they really are written poorly. And I think that that was the case with this pattern. So I'm going to hang on to it though, because I do want to, I may want to make them again, the hat and the scarf. But what I'm going to do while this is fresh is on the actual instruction sheet is to go ahead and make some notes of where I got stuck and what I did in place of what the pattern would have me do. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a little clip now of me wearing this. I hope that you guys like it. I thought it turned out pretty cute. And I did use a fleece that I got on remnant clearance at Stylemaker Fabrics. And I think that it turned out really well. There were times when I felt that it was too bulky because the brim of the hat or the hat band and the hat itself were lined. For the hat itself, I used just a jersey knit to line it with. But for the band, it actually calls for a lining there, so I used the jersey knit. But then you double everything over. And I'll tell you, trying to stuff all those layers, and especially where there's some overlap, like right here where the hat band overlaps, I got as far as I could on the machine, but there was a lot of hand sewing in this. And actually the pattern instructions did have you hand sew in several places. I feel like I had to hand sew more than what the pattern would have had me do, just because it got to be really bulky. I feel like you really wouldn't need to even line the hat band since you're doubling it over anyway. And same thing with the scarf. I use the same lining, and I know that mine is different. My end result is different from the pattern because I don't believe that the lining is actually supposed to show. Like this would have been doubled over as well, but it was very confusing. So my lining does show a little bit when I'm wearing it, but I can kind of like tuck it in a little bit at the neckline to keep it from showing. And if it does show, I'm fine with that because the lining is really cute and kind of season appropriate with the little mountains there, and the colors go well together. So that is my experience with that pattern. And the only other sewing related things that I did this week, the week prior, I had ordered a bunch of samples from Stylemaker Fabric. They're probably like in the top 3 of my favorite places to buy fabric, but because they are on the pricier side, I didn't realize the few times that I've shopped there that they do offer swatches. So I went ahead and ordered several swatches. If you saw my previous Friday Sews video, I kind of did the same thing with another fabric company that I use. And that way I kind of have these on hand, and provided that they don't sell out of these, like as long as these are fabrics that they keep in stock and replenish, then it's kind of like having my own little mini fabric store, that if I'm looking for a certain color, a certain type of fabric, I can look at my swatches and say, oh, well, that might work perfectly. Let's see if they still have it. So I'm hoping that that holds true, but either way, it kind of gives me an idea of particular like linen, how their linens feel and things like that and so forth. So if you guys are interested, I thought I would show you some of the swatches that I got. And if you have questions about any particular swatch and you want like the exact name of the fabric or anything, just let me know. I'll be happy to provide that. So let's take a look at these now. And I'll start with the prints first, and because prints are always like the more exciting, aren't they? So this one is a rayon batik, and I thought it was so pretty. I do love it. It's kind of it's lighter in color than I anticipated. I'm not sure why, because I think it matches what it shows. You know, sometimes you just have expectations and things turn out differently, but I thought that was pretty. I've quilted with batiks before, cotton batiks, but I've never had like a rayon batik. I'm not sure if I will actually order any of this, but I loved it online, so I wanted to see how it looked in person. These next two are shirting fabrics, and they're kind of the same pattern, but just in different colorways. I wanted to see what the actual colors of these were because I love the design. I feel like this one's definitely, I don't know, what do you guys think? I feel like neither one of these are really in my colors, quote unquote, but I kind of take that with a grain of salt, especially right now when my hair has kind of got this reddish tint to it. It affects like how the colors look on me, I think. So I'm not ruling these out. I do like them. I don't often sew with shirting fabrics though. Not that I wouldn't, but I just haven't done that too much up till now. The next two pieces are cotton double gauze. This one is espresso and this one is plum. Isn't that plum pretty? I think both of these are in my color palette. I don't know if I've ever made anything with a gauze. If I did, it would have been years and years ago. Yeah, next we have, these are some double knits. These first two are called Ultra Cozy Sweater Double Knit in emerald and turquoise. Those are pretty colors. They're so vivid. I've gotten to where I do this when I get fabric samples, trying to figure out, does it look good on me or does it not, and trying to make the best choice I can. It's hard. This next one is also a double knit. It's called Patchwork Jacquard in solid navy. Now this one has a lovely texture. You guys can't tell. It seems like the lighting's doing funny things, so I don't know if that's, there we go. I think that's pretty representative of what it looks like. And it has stretch to it. I like that a lot, real lot. And these next ones are all linens or linen blends. Different types of linen, I guess. Like a couple of them are called soft washed. One of them is called slub texture. A couple of them are. So I'll just kind of go down. So this one is, these are linen blends, plum and taupe. Although from here, at least in this lighting, this taupe is really, to me, it leans more gray. So another good reason to get swatches if, you know, if the colors are that. If you're like me, real particular about the colors, or you're trying to match something, like maybe you want the solid to match with the print you already have and the color might matter. Let's see. These two are called soft wash linen solid, deep ocean and teal. This is another soft wash linen solid in olive. And this is a Brussels washer linen blend in aubergine. That's pretty. I like that a lot. And then the last two are more suiting materials, and I really want to get into making more pants, and I feel like both of these would make wonderful pants material. This is a Ponte solid in navy. It's rayon, nylon, and spandex. And it's a pretty dark navy. I feel like it's darker, like the lights from my filming setup here are making it look lighter than it is. It's pretty dark. I love it though. This has a great feel. This would make a really good pair of pants. So this could be a contender if I order any fabric. And then this next one is called Classic Fine Gabardine Suiting in aubergine. And it's pretty nice too. No stretch. It's on the thin side for me, depending on what I wanted to make. And what's funny is after I placed the order for these swatches, a little bit later, a few days later, Stylemaker sent out an email that they're doing end of bolt 20% off. So I thought, oh, now I don't know if any of these are included in that 20% off, but if I find a few out of my swatches that I love, I'm going to check and see if they're part of that sale. If they are, I might order enough to make, you know, a pair of pants or whatever. And if they're not part of the sale, I'm not like in any rush to get them or anything like that. That's about all I've done sewing related this week. Let me know what you guys have worked on this week. I'm kind of already looking ahead to January. And if you saw my recent video, I talked about that I am going to do pantsuary again. I talked about that, I guess it was my last video. The days are all kind of blurring together right now because of the holidays. It was in my 22 makes video. So I am going to do pantsuary again. And I'm going to get at least 2 pairs of pants made, and one of them is I'm doing McCall's pattern M8099 again. I'm going to do this version out of, forget exactly what this fabric is, but it's going to be really nice for a pair of jogger pants like that. So that'll be my first project for January. And stay tuned next week. I'm going to kind of talk about my 2023 plans, what my overall like general sewing goals are, and what some of my specific plans are. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned for my next couple of videos. And other than that, I am enjoying time with my family. Hubby's off all week, so I have still been working this week, but just 3 days. So it's been kind of nice to have a lot of time together with Farley and just to chill out. We've watched a lot of TV, movies. We have certain Christmas movies that we watch every year, and we might try to watch a new one to add in or see if we are interested in adding anything to our Christmas movie repertoire. And I am also starting to look ahead to 2023 garden planning. And if you start from seeds, which I do almost everything starting from seeds indoors, that starts in late February for certain things like peppers and eggplants. So I'm already starting to do planning for that, like where am I going to allocate space? Do I need to build any more beds and things like that? And that really, I hate putting my garden to bed for the winter, because outside of my sewing room, my garden is my happy place. And it's kind of, I know it needs rest, and there's little you can do over the winter without like a heated greenhouse. But what I find helps like get through that kind of longing for my garden is just to start planning the next garden. And I can be such a planner, especially for certain things like my garden or sewing projects or what have you. And I really kind of get into the whole planning of it. So I'm looking forward to that. I try to spend a lot of time in the winter too reading how-to type books like garden how-to or even sewing, just to kind of beef up my knowledge a little bit. And yeah, what do you guys do over the winter other than sew? What gets you through the cold months? Let me know in the comments. And I guess that's probably about it. I hope that you've had a good holiday week, and I hope that you're going to have a good New Year's. Are you doing anything fun for New Year's Eve? We keep it pretty low key. Our New Year's Eve party days are probably like long behind us, which is fine. We don't care. I am going to be visiting some family this weekend, so that'll be good. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you have a good New Year's. I will be back next week, shooting for Sunday, maybe more like Monday with my next video. I hope you will tune in for that, and I will see you then. Bye.